Welcome to the Landscaping Podcast. My name is Joel Barnett and I am your host. And in today's episode, I'm talking with Aaron Holman from Aaron Holman Landscape Design. Absolutely love chatting with Aaron. So he's been a landscape designer and is now making a bit of a transition into study where he's studying psychology with the goal of helping men. And he's got another Instagram page as well called A Corner for Men, where he's looking to connect men up with gyms and sporting clubs and just helping out with men's mental health. So the first half of the chat is about his time in landscaping and then the the transition that he's currently in the process of making. And I just absolutely love chatting. It was a fascinating chat and felt like it flowed really well. He spoke about the quality companies that he worked for at the start and his time studying landscape architecture and the description that he does of that is probably the best I've ever heard. And we talk about the importance of choosing the right place to work if you can when you are looking to get into the industry. And then later on, he's got some great advice about how you can start to improve your life. So, yeah, fascinating chat, as I said. But in this episode, I did tell him that this was episode 248, but I think it's 249. So next week is the special guest that we mentioned, which I'm recording on Thursday. So once that gets recorded and he's 100% confirmed, then I'll be announcing that one as well. But until then, hopefully you enjoy this chat with Aaron Holman. Aaron, thank you for joining us on the Landscaping Podcast. My first question for you is, how did you start in the industry?
Thanks for having me on what is, I believe, the number one landscaping podcast in the world. So
As
it's
far as
a
I'm aware, you're correct. Yeah.
how'd I get started? So straight out of school, I was kind of a part-time working in a butcher shop, and I wasn't too bad at school. I loved reading and writing, so I thought, all right, I'm going to become a journalist. So I did arts, Bachelor of Arts, like majoring in journalism at Monash in Caulfield. And it kind of ties into what I'm doing now, but around that time I was really struggling with like some pretty heavy anxiety and stuff that goes along with that. So I found it really hard to be in a classroom and be in that kind of environment. So I think I did 6 months or a bit over 6 months, and I ended up dropping out. And I was like, well, I need to find something that kind of works around my anxiety and will maybe allow me to be outside and be active and kind of burn off this stress. And mum had always had like landscaping magazines around the house, like Better Homes and Gardens and all these kind of, with the nice pictures and stuff. And I was always interested in like a nice garden. For some reason, I was just drawn to it. And I knew I wanted to do a trade maybe. So I just thought that's the way to go. So yeah, I can't remember how old I was. I was probably like 20, sorry, when I first started, or maybe a bit younger. And then, yeah, just did you know what it's like, the slog as an apprentice, mate. I was just coming home and sleeping and going to footy training with my hands taped because of the blisters and fins. Like, so, yeah, definitely went through the gauntlet in that regard. And was lucky in my apprenticeship to work with some really good companies. I worked with the garden company and worked on their eco showrooms. So I did like the Burnley showroom,
Yeah, right.
which was awesome. Like just a good experience as a landscaper. It's kind of like the stuff you want to be doing. Got to work on their Brisbane showroom up there, and like on Rick Eckersley's house in Flinders. Like I did some really nice kind of stuff as an apprentice. And then I kind of really like was drawn to the design aspect. So I enrolled in landscape architecture at RMIT, and I did a couple of years of that. But again, mate, the anxiety would I just couldn't sit in a classroom. I was so visibly anxious that it was hard for me to kind of just take anything or do, like get involved in the group work and all that kind of stuff. Like it was really, really bad. So I just worked for a friend, like paving. We did a lot of paving and stonework and stuff like that. So I was still, yeah, stuck to it, but kind of found a way. And I worked for Kayama, they were really great and did some cool stuff with them. And then it got to the point where I just wanted to explore the design and maybe just do my own small job. So I just started that probably 5 or 6 years ago, and was, yeah, have been doing that up until now.
And what was it like after working in landscaping and then going and studying landscape architecture? Like when you had a bit of an idea of what it was like, were you looking at it thinking, this is not what it's like?
Completely different kettle of fish. So,
Yeah.
landscape architecture at RMIT is very much, even architecture, it's like you're studying how do I put it? Like the first lesson I did, I'll give you an example. The first class I did was they crumpled up a bit of paper and they put it in the table in the middle and they're like, sketch this bit of paper. I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. So it's very conceptual and it kind of gets you thinking like a designer, I guess. So that part's great. But then when it comes to the landscape, it's large scale. Like you are looking at large scale stuff. It's not like your backyard. And there probably are some subjects that help a little bit in regards to plants and stuff like that. But it's more if you're going to become a commercial landscape architect. So it was, yeah, it was very different. I didn't mind it. And I probably would have stuck with it if I could have
Yeah.
dealt with myself a little bit better. But I wouldn't recommend it to anyone that wants to just be like a backyard designer doing small scale stuff. You don't need to do that. Just go and like there's plenty of other great design schools that will focus on, like the garden show kind of stuff and the backyard stuff.
Mm. I've heard people describe, like, I don't know if it's just architects or landscape architects, as you're sort of more understanding how people use a space and how they move through it more. Like
100%.
you want to do that with a backyard design as well, but that's a lot of the focus of the larger scale stuff.
So true. Yeah, a lot of it is like mapping and stuff like that. So you are mapping how people are going to experience a large scale area. And yeah, like it's the same in the sense that even in like a backyard, you're creating spaces in different areas, but on a much larger scale. But you're also mindful of like there's some urban design element in there that's like you're mindful of traffic, you're mindful of pedestrians. So a lot of that is like, yeah, is part of it.
Yeah. And when you're working at the eco showroom, were you freaking out? Because I imagine if it's in their showroom as an example of how they want it laid, like
Yeah. I
doing it
was I
properly.
was a young buck, so I wasn't laying much. I was just on
Yeah.
the mixer or shoveling shit. So it was great kind of just to be in that environment and see like I'm when it comes to landscaping, I'm very interested in like the materiality of things. Like I like the different materials. I was never drawn heaps to the plants, which I think is a misconception about landscaping sometimes. Like sometimes people like will pin you as almost like a horticulturalist, but I was very much like into my hard structures, my concreting, my stone, all that kind of stuff. So that was what I loved about it, like just seeing these cool pavers and these like stuff you're seeing imported that you don't get to see all the time. Like sometimes you might just be laying concrete pavers all the time or whatever. So yeah, it was great and just like yeah, a cool experience working in there with everyone in like in that kind of space. So I loved it.
Yeah. And then going to Brisbane to work is wouldn't be a bad thing either.
Yeah, so then there was a crew of us that was up there for probably a month or a bit less,
What
and
time of year was it?
oh, it was raining, so I can't remember if it was wet, but it was all indoors. So we would just go there in the morning and chip away, and that was at Fortitude Valley. I can't remember what year that was, but again, yeah, just a cool experience, like getting to hang out with the guys and just lay stone and cladding.
Yeah. Yeah, I went up to the Sunshine Coast to work for 2 weeks in the middle of winter one year. So that was a good time to be up there.
Good time. Yeah, you don't want to be out there when it's too hot, especially in a factory. It can kind of get a
Yeah.
bit interesting. But yeah, no, it was great. So I've been lucky.
Yeah, it makes such a massive difference on who you get your apprenticeship for and who you work for.
Oh,
Because
if I
it's
was going to tell a young kid, I go, because the first guy I worked for lived out in, I won't even say where, but I was driving out there and he was just a bit of a prick. And I was slave labor. Like that's all I was. Like I was under decks, like with a cut off pickaxe, digging out for bladder tanks and stuff and just getting yelled at and like, mate, and work to the bone. Like I would go home and be asleep by 4 o'clock.
yeah, I used to do that as well.
Yeah. So I would suggest like if you're getting into it, Instagram's such a good tool now. You're going to be able to find a company that looks like they're doing good work, looks like you want to like good environment as well. You want to be working with a good team. So yeah, I was lucky in that sense. Like everyone at Kayama as well, just awesome people. And the garden company the same. Everyone was just so nice and yeah, good to be around.
Yeah, it can be hard to be picky when you're wanting to get in. So you might
Yeah,
need to sort of take what you can get, but
for
then
sure.
keeping your eye on these other opportunities and take one
Yeah.
as it comes up.
Don't be scared to move around. You're still going to be learning no matter where you are. So like, yeah, I would say, and it might even be better for you because you're going to get different opportunities at different places, and the level of trust they put in you might be different. Like you might need to try and find somewhere where you're not just going to be a shit kicker and labor, and find somewhere where you can really cut your teeth and learn how to do the stuff that you want to do.
Yeah, like you could like if you had have started working at the garden company and someone told you, yeah, you've done something wrong, you think, oh, these guys are an asshole. But then because you've worked with that previous guy, Like that's it's not bad at all.
Mate, night and day. It was like, and you're gonna if you're gonna become an apprentice, you have to have thick skin and take constructive criticism well. Like that's part of learning on the job as well.
Yeah, regardless of what you do, you need to be able to take criticism because you're
Yeah,
not going to be good at what you do, and you need to learn by being told to do it differently. So,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people struggle with that, I think.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
But it could also be in the delivery. So some people just struggle delivering the right, like that explanation better. So
Yeah, yeah,
goes
yeah,
both
definitely.
ways.
And everyone has a different style of accepting instruction. So you might have a boss that just yells at you and calls you a C word
Mm.
all day. And maybe you're okay with that. Maybe that's just how you are. Or maybe you need someone that's a bit more like, hey, mate, let me show you, like, just do this, do that. So I guess it all depends on, yeah, what you need.
So how did you go about getting work for yourself when you started out?
So just like word of mouth, friends, family, friends. And then I was always lucky. It would always just fall into place. Like I was never super, super busy, like backing jobs up. And it was only me and one other guy. Like I was never in it to create a huge company. Like for me, what I loved about landscape design was the creativity, and it's a labor of love for me. Like it wasn't and I'm not very business minded, so it was just the job that I loved and loved to do. So I would always just have enough work to keep like getting me by and progressively doing nicer jobs and bigger jobs. Like the last couple of jobs I did were, yeah, some really cool stuff with some architectural concrete and different types of paving and kind of like some cool pool fencing. So as a designer and a creator, that's what you're after. Like you're kind of chasing that license to be creative and, you know, put your touch on someone's backyard a little bit.
Yeah, one of your things I've seen that I love is a curved barbecue bench with cabinets, and it's
Yeah.
curved on all four corners around the
Yeah, that was a
inside.
tough one. That was we had Kane, Kane from King Kong, who I'm not
Yeah,
sure if he's still doing concrete, but such a good guy, awesome guy. So he did the pool beam surround, and I'm like, mate, this is what I've drawn up. He's like, fuck, how am I gonna do this? So he got another guy in from TrickCon or something, and they spent a few days and they did an awesome job. I think it looks like uh very different and unique and like something I hadn't seen before, is what I try and do. And yeah, the clients love it. They actually own the local bakery here, so I saw them the other day, and they're still saying it's all growing in very well. And yeah,
so
so
when you started out, were you just doing construction projects to start with, and then trying to get designs as well?
yeah, I just started by doing paving, and I knew I got pretty close with the local stone supplier working for my mate who was a paver. So he would just flick me like little jobs, just installs of paving and walling and stuff like that. And then I was just offering people small design works. And from uni, you learn a bit of CAD work. So I learned how to use AutoCAD. And then I just taught myself how to use the 3D program, like SketchUp, and then putting that into a rendering system. So I could punch out these designs pretty efficiently. And so I just started offering that up to people and like, once you do a couple, like it kind of, yeah, leads to other work. So that was kind of the progression of that. And that's what I love. I think landscape design is like, if you're talking about being creative and like looking at it as an art form, there's not many art forms where your canvas changes all the time. You're using living things like plants, like so you're thinking about how they interact with your canvas, the site, and then the materials that you can use, concrete, paving, there's a wide array of stuff that is so site specific, client specific. There's not many creative outlets that allow that much like complexity. So that's what I loved about the design kind of stuff. And it's always good to be able to put it together yourself because there's a sense of like achievement at the end of the day going, shit, I drew that up. We came here, we like put some blood, sweat, and tears into it. And now like we have a product that the client can enjoy for, yeah, hopefully a long time.
Yeah, and also when you're doing it yourself, you can tweak things like
So
really minor
important.
things without having to worry about.
Mate, that is such a good point, especially if you're designing it, because sometimes you draw it on paper and then you give it to someone, and it's like there has to be this constant kind of check in to make sure that, oh, we've got to work around this, or maybe this needs to move here. But you're right, if you're doing it yourself, you're just over it and like, oh shit, maybe that's out a little bit. I can adjust that. So yeah, that's such a great point.
Yeah, yeah, I find that even just with like I'll add plants a lot, even though I
Yeah.
go pretty heavy on the plants. I think, oh, there's like a pocket here. This will look better. And something I put over here is going to work better here. So you just put.
Especially with planting, because you can draw planting up on a plan. And if you're not like the greatest in that aspect. It is, yeah, it is very site specific and space specific. So you're like, oh shit, we need to add this much more or do this. So yeah, it's so true. So
Yeah.
true.
And also like visual again, there's designers who are amazing with the plants, so they sort of can nail it first try.
Oh yeah.
But then there's
Yes.
other people who like it helps seeing the plants and then
Placed
getting a
out.
better idea how they work, yeah, how they work together.
I'm so jealous of people that can just draw a planting plan and get it nailed and it come like I think that's such an amazing talent. And that's why the design space is kind of hard because I think that's such a specific niche, like that horticultural aspect is so specific. Like, and that's probably where I lacked as a designer. I was just so focused on like the material and getting the paving and stuff looking good that my planting probably lacks a little bit in some, yeah, in some instances.
Yeah, like you say, though, you make up for it in other ones. There'll be designers who are
Yes.
amazing at plants, and the rest of it's all kind of vanilla.
Yeah,
Yours
100%.
more unique.
Yeah. Do you do any of your own designs?
Yeah,
Oh,
yep.
nice.
It
Awesome.
started the last few years. I've been doing a lot more.
That's
The
cool.
next job we're starting is one I designed, and it's funny because the more I've done, the better I get at it. Like
Yeah.
it's like really obvious to me,
Yes.
and I'm almost getting to a point where I'm finding the hardscaping harder to design, and the plants are just easier.
Oh,
Like
mate,
I've gone a complete 180 on what I was
yeah.
like
I think that's a
before.
good spot to be in, though. I think it's much easier to wrap your head around the shapes and like just allocating space to hard surfaces. So if you've got the planting down pat, I think you're in a pretty good spot. Do you
Yeah,
use CAD and stuff like that? Like you do
yeah. So I've been
pretty
using Landworks CAD
awesome. Yeah.
since like 2008.
Oh,
So
nice.
no good at it still, but
Yeah, it's
it does the
I'm
job.
computer illiterate as well, so I'm mashing the keyboard half the time. Yeah, the spinning
But
wheel.
yeah, I'll do a design. I think this is going to look like when I finish the plants. I can't wait to see how it's going to actually look because
Yeah,
I feel like I'm getting yeah just night and day what I was like 2 years ago
awesome.
even. So
Well, that's just like anything, you do enough of it, and you kind of, without even realizing, you just become so much more competent in, yeah, understanding how it works. So that's
yeah, and it's
cool.
just the more you do something as well. Like I've got
Oh, yeah,
Vectorworks, but I can't use it because I haven't committed to using it.
but it's
But
expensive.
yeah, it's not too bad. They've all got their recurring fees.
Yeah. Oh, like I was at one stage, I was had Autodesk, SketchUp Pro, and then this the 3D the 3D imaging software becomes very expensive to
Yeah.
render. If you want a good program, that is like because it's all commercial based, so they're just expecting a large company to do it. So that's what I found to be the costs. Yeah, started to get a bit high as well towards the end, but
And
that's,
you need a decent computer to be running it as well.
yeah, I had to buy a desk, like a supercharged desktop from a local computer guy that was just bulked up to process the renders at a decent
Yeah.
rate. But I love that. That was like one of my favorite parts is like seeing it go from paper and then putting it into 3D and then getting these like renders that are kind of look, you can get them pretty close with the technology now. That, yeah, I just think that's like, yeah, it was cool.
So on your Instagram page, how many of those 3D renders on there? Like, have you done all of them?
Yeah, most of them. I do use, I can't remember what his name is now, but he's based over in Asia somewhere and he does a lot. I think he might have done stuff for you. What, Tim?
Yeah, because
Tim?
I could recognize them. Yeah,
Yeah, so Tim, I used to, if I was time conscious, he's so good and so responsive and just easy to use. If it was like I had to punch it out, and it is time consuming sitting there and getting it into 3D like it does. People don't understand the time it requires in the processing. So I would just send it to him just to get the job over the line to be like, look, this is the 3D. And yeah, he's great. So I have used him in the past, and I think I use Western Visual or something, who's yeah, who helped me out. But I have, yeah, I'm not afraid to kind of, yeah,
yeah,
share the love.
yeah. Well, yeah, they do such a good job. And like, and Tim came over to the garden show, not the last 2 years, but the year before when I did one.
Oh, nice.
He'd drawn up a lot of people who designed there, so he
Yeah.
wanted to come out and check over what they look like in
Yeah, he
person.
does pretty well. He's all over it. Like so many people use him.
Yeah,
He's captured a good part of the landscaping market, which is the 3D design space. Because he's cost effective and he's
yeah,
good and he's quick. Like and he's just so responsive. So yeah, I really liked working with him as well.
yeah. You think if you were going cheap, you'd get rubbish, but it's good quality.
Good quality. Yeah. And it shows what you want. Like that is all you need. You just need the client to be able to look at it and go, wow, that is definitely something that I want. Like, that's the whole point of the 3D thing is to show them that it's to sell the project, really.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
And even like designers help by seeing it in 3D because they think, oh,
Yes.
that's not quite how I thought it was going to look. But
100%. I would do some sometimes and go, oh wow, that looks very cramped, or like, well, that looks like out of place there. So it does allow you, although it's a pain in the ass to kind of readjust the 3D and deconstruct it. But you're right, it's like it is a good chance of iteration, yeah, in kind of real time, which is yeah, is awesome.
And with your when you're doing your planting plans, do you sort of plant for how they're going to grow to like their full size, or you just don't have the patience like me and just
Yeah,
in
I've
there and
kind
take
of
it out?
done. That's why I'm terrible. Like I'm not that great at it. So I probably have done some that was too sparse, and then I've probably done some that are too crowded. So that's the sweet spot you're trying to find, isn't it? Like especially when you're just incorporating different species and different, yeah, types of plants. Getting the spacings right is something that's what I'm envious of people that are just really good at it because I'm terrible at it. So.
Mm. So and you mentioned that you're having doing a slight shift in what you're doing now as well. So
Yeah. So probably a year or two ago, I started studying psychology online casually or part-time. So I do, it's always something I've been interested in, obviously, because I've struggled with like some stuff in my life and have always just kind of been, yeah, interested in finding out more about it and maybe helping other people with the same kind of burdens. So Deacon Online, I've I got some prior learning from the landscape architecture, which was interesting.
yeah, right.
So I didn't have to do some elective, so it kind of cut down the time I need to spend studying. But yeah, I've got a year, probably under a year to go. Starting today, three subjects a trimester, so I'll be studying pretty full on. It's pretty intensive, the psychology. It's a science-based study, so you're doing statistics. You're also doing a lot of reading in terms of research papers and stuff like that. So it is, yeah, it can be pretty intense, but I love it. I'm really passionate about it. I believe that it is a necessary. I think everyone should study it a little bit, even if they're not interested in becoming a psychologist. Like just read about it and try and get a grasp of how your mind works and maybe how you can look after your mind a bit better. So I'm super pumped. It's going to be an interesting change because what I loved also about landscaping was I liked being physical. I liked like getting that energy out like during the day. Like I really love that about landscaping. You come home, you feel like you've done a good day's work. And it just that helped with my anxiety massively because it's just a burn of this like stagnant energy. So that's what I'm gonna try and manage now is like the studies, but also not miss that. And the work site, just being on a work site is so much fun. Like just talking a bit of crap. Yeah, and interacting with clients and stuff and doing the work. So I'm looking forward to it, but it's also going to be, I'm also going to miss a bit of the landscaping stuff.
So did you study psychology at school as well? Is that
No, didn't we didn't oh we did, but I never studied it at school. I was into like my English and stuff like that. So I really like
yeah.
writing, reading, hated maths. Didn't really get into science either. But it was more once I started to experience these things for myself, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe this is something I can explore and yeah, get into. So now I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to it. So whether that's becoming a psychologist, which is a pretty long process, like I
Yeah.
mean, once you finish your degree, it's then another 2 or 3 years of really full on study, or whether it's just becoming a counselor and then doing this Instagram stuff and maybe trying to just counsel blokes and be a therapist for blokes that are yeah, just needing a bit of help or just want a bit of direction or whatever it is, mate. I'll that's what I'm going to try and do anyway. So I've committed to this now, and that's what I feel is my kind of purpose at the moment.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, because I studied psychology at school. And that was
Oh, nice.
apart from maths, it was my favorite subject, and
Yeah,
I was considering doing sports psychology when I left school.
super
So I just
interesting.
find it absolutely fascinating, like
Yeah,
understanding the way people think, and
it
yeah,
is. It is. There's so much to it. It is so vast, and you're never going to know it all. But we are such a fascinating species, and I find people incredible. I'm so curious just about people that it's also a study that allows you to, yeah, investigate that curiosity as well. And a sports psychologist would be awesome. Like that would be, I reckon that would be cool. Like just getting into the minds of these top 1% of people that have dedicated their lives to becoming the best would be, yeah, would be interesting.
yeah. I think it was something that it's kind of I was naturally inquisitive about people as well.
Yeah,
Because I was good at sport, but I was never like the fastest or could jump highest or doing. I was
mate,
never sort of
same.
the best at anything. But
Yeah, I can
I
relate.
could read, I could understand things
Yeah,
before everyone else did. So I knew what like how they played the ball, or
yeah,
I knew what they did because at sort of junior level, they do the exact same thing all the time.
Oh, it's just a herd of people chasing the ball
Yeah.
around.
So I could understand things like where the ruckman taps it every single time or who he's
Yeah.
talking to. And yeah. So it was things like that. But then I did a personal training course
Oh, nice.
later on, and I didn't finish it because the last two um, modules I had to do was gym placement, and
Oh,
I hated the gym,
yeah. Yeah.
and motivation was one of the modules as well.
Yeah.
Lord, if people don't want to do it, then I can't tell them to do it.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah.
So
It's
I
a,
didn't, yeah, I didn't finish it, but I think my mindset changed on that
yeah.
later on because I couldn't be
And
bothered
did you
dealing with people
start
again.
landscaping after that or?
I think it was during it maybe
Okay. Yeah.
because I only did the personal training course because I wanted to do a marathon, so I
Yep.
wanted to understand
Yeah.
myself
Nice.
a lot better.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it was a night course. So I reckon, and I think I did the marathon when I was like in my mid-20s, and I started landscaping before that. So I would have been landscaping at the same time.
Oh, nice.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
different breed being a personal trainer. I think they're a different kind of energy and yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was doing it before it was cool. Like everyone does it now, but
Oh, it's huge
it
now, isn't
wasn't
it?
as
What an
accessible.
industry.
Yeah,
And Instagram and stuff kind of blown that up. But
yeah.
yeah.
Imagine me on my Instagram, with the shirt off, and just doing doing some
Perfect, mate.
reps.
Oh, pay for it. You could start an OnlyFans or something.
Yeah, there's a market for hairy fitness guys. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Perfect. You got the rug.
So how long had you been thinking about like making the changes? Because like I
Oh,
was saying before we started that it's good to hear someone who can
yeah.
actually sort of be in the industry and then realize that they want to do something else
Yeah.
and make that step.
Uh-huh. So I'd probably been thinking about it for a little while, and I was considering just doing the study part-time as a landscaper until I needed to, like just to continue that as like a part-time thing and then decide what to do with it. But I'm a tall guy, like I'm 6'4", I'm lanky. I'm not built to be bending over, laying pavers for the rest of my life or screeding. Like my body is just not. As a landscaper, you should have a low center of gravity. That's the perfect build for a
I'm 5'9"
landscaper.
and 3/4. So
Perfect. So, like not being, yeah, not judging those that are vertically challenged, mate. But I'm just saying that for me, my body isn't built to be doing that for the rest of my life. And I just, not that I wasn't enjoying it as much, just something felt a bit different. And I was studying psychology. And yeah, you have a choice in your life if you want to follow your passions and what you believe your purpose is. So I'm in a position where I like don't have any kids. I don't have that a heap of responsibilities where I can afford to kind of take a cut and pay and just focus on studying and kind of pursuing this full time. So I would say to anyone that's thinking about it and they're a bit scared of doing it. Yeah, just have faith in yourself. Take a leap. If you really like, it's such a great industry, the landscaping industry. You would be able to come back to it if you've got a good reputation or people know you. Like you're gonna find work. So whether you might take a couple of years off to pursue something that you think that you want to pursue, and if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to it. It's always there. There is always, especially in Melbourne, there's always going to be a need for like good quality landscapers. So yeah, don't be afraid. Have a crack and pursue what you truly love.
yeah, I forgot that I even did that. I had a break from landscaping and
Oh, really?
went to work at the bank for 2.5 years and then got back into
Oh,
it. So
that's an interesting change, mate.
that wasn't following a passion. That was
Just,
more
yeah.
fear of running my own business.
Oh, and the other thing is being a business owner, a small business owner, it's not for the faint-hearted. It is not easy. You talk about doing the work. If you're a designer, also drawing the work, finding the work, bookkeeping, managing people if you've got a crew, and then just like maintenance of all your tools and somewhere to store your tools. Like there's so much that goes into it that, yeah, it's definitely not for the faint-hearted, but super rewarding if you can make it work,
Yeah, and all the different tools you need as well. It's insane. And you might use something once every 2 years, but you still need it.
mate. And then you got to try and find it when you need it. Like, where have I put that? Yeah. Yeah, landscaping is such like what is it, jack of all trades, kind of master of none thing. But that's what drew me to it as well. It's like such a diverse skill set that you have a chance to just like, yeah, do so many like irrigation, paving, decking, whatever you want. You get a chance to kind of have a go at all of it, which was kind of fun.
I have heard I don't know if it's the full saying or a different saying of that jack of all trades saying though, but I always like to let people know of their saying is jack of all trades, master of none is still always better than a master of one.
That is it. So there is a bit that gets left off a lot of
Yeah,
the time. So we are, by that definition, we are the greatest tradesmen.
correct. And in, not that we needed to anyone to
Oh,
let
the
us know because it's
validation, yeah,
obvious, but
I love it.
and you've recently started a new Instagram page as well called A Corner for Men. So,
Yeah,
so is that and that's something you're going to be sort of focusing on during your studies as well, is sort of helping out.
yeah,
I think he's talking about connecting men to sports clubs and gyms and just sort of getting them so they're not feeling so alone, I assume.
yeah. So I'm of the belief that the period we're living in now is a difficult time for men. I don't like people might like hearing not like hearing that, but I think it is becoming even more increasingly challenging to be a man in the modern day times. Just pressures that like there's a lot of societal pressure. We live in such an overcapitalized world that I think there is like a pressure to be making a lot of money. Women, which is great, are now more independent than ever. So women don't need men. It's a fact. Women are less likely to be dating men, so there's that aspect to it. So I think it is a tough time for guys mentally, and there's a lot of pressure. So I started the website first, and the idea was to reach out. I know a few gym owners like jiu-jitsu gyms and CrossFit gyms and stuff like that. The idea, and they're super supportive environments. Like you go there, and the people are just wonderful. Some gyms you walk into, and if you're a bit anxious, it's like it's a hard kind of environment to get yourself into. So these places are all wonderful, like just super supportive local small gyms. I reached out. I said, "Look, will you offer a discount to guys that may be struggling or want to get into some fitness stuff, but they just can't at the moment because they're feeling a bit shit or whatever?" And so I started that, but then I soon realized, shit, there's a lot of gyms around. So I'm going to be reaching out to hundreds of gyms a day and then logging all this. Like it's still a work in progress, but I'm like, this is going to be a tough thing to kind of chip away at. And I'm still reaching out, but then I was like, well, maybe I can kind of start an Instagram page and it can just be a resource for guys. And I read a lot about psychology, self-help and all that. So I'll just put all this information out there and kind of like anything, mate, you put yourself out there a bit. You started a podcast at the start, you can feel like, who's going to listen to me? Who cares? I feel like an idiot. This is cringy. All those thoughts go through your head. But I feel like if one guy looks at the page and goes, shit, yeah, that like helps me out a little bit, then it doesn't matter. 99 people can think I'm a dickhead. But if there's one guy that's gone, man, that's like made my day a lot better, or that's really helped me out, like I needed to hear that, then perfect. My job's done. I don't like, I'm good. So yeah, hopefully I can build this website up and I'll start reaching out to people once I get some content going to kind of get them on board as well. But I just want a place for guys to go that may be struggling and hopefully they find the topic that they're worried about and it gives them some insight into maybe how they can deal with it or how they can be a little bit better as a person or as a partner or just as a human being in general. I think that's the whole point of being on this planet is to try and help each other a little bit, just nudge people in the right direction. I know I needed it. I've needed it a lot. So I feel that this is my opportunity to kind of give back and do that for other people to the best of my ability. Like I'm not trained. I'm just studying. I'm not a professional, so I kind of have to put that out there. But I do have a passion for helping people, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it just helps having someone to talk to. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah,
different
big
places
thing.
people can go to, but
Yeah,
not every place is going to be perfect for every person. So
very true.
it's good to have different options, and they can be like whether they're a bigger organization or just a small individual like yourself. So
The more the better. And I'd be happy for people to reach out and ask me questions. And you're right, like calling a therapist and going to a therapist can be daunting. I'm actually starting my training for Lifeline on the 23rd. So I'll be volunteering with Lifeline Australia on the phones there. So that's a good one if you're really battling. Like if you're really, really struggling, I'd suggest you call Lifeline, Beyond Blue and stuff like that because they can, if you're at the end of your tether and you've really like that, that's a great free resource that you can use. So, but the best thing is prevention. So I would say work on just staying mentally fit like you do physically. Like you go to the physio, you get your stuff checked out, you go to the gym. Your mind requires even more effort than your body does because it is such a complex organism that we don't understand. Like psychology is very early in its days of being able to understand all this stuff. So work out what works for you. I'd suggest for guys, it's just a good routine. Like I love being up at 4 in the morning. I love going to the beach for a walk. I love having my coffee. I love doing some exercise. If I'm doing that every day, I know that I'm maintaining this steady mental health program that's going to keep me in check. If that starts to fall off, I start to fall off mentally. So that's like, if I was going to give you anyone advice, it would be work on getting like a good routine going in the morning and just with your life in general. And that's a preventative measure. But if you're further down the track and you're really fucking battling, just reach out to someone, a friend, me on Instagram, or someone on Instagram that might be doing the same thing, or call a free resource. On my website, there are a list of all the resources you can call, like in Australia. So there's heaps of them. And I also know some great counselors and therapists. So I'm happy to point privately, like it's all private, point you in the right direction because therapy is a great one as well.
Yeah, I think having the routine is a big one because like
Huge.
it's from birth. That's a good idea because that's
Yes.
what they teach you when you have a kid is to give them a routine, feed at the same time, bath
Yeah.
at the same time, so then they understand what comes after sleep.
Yeah.
And that's like if I go back to my year 11 psychology days, I think that was like Pavlov's dog. When he hears a bell, its mouth
Conditioning.
salivates and then it gets
Yeah.
food, and then it
Yeah.
understands the bell means food. So,
Yeah.
all these triggers help the next step.
For
So,
sure.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's yeah, I reckon it's not just for me, for anyone having a routine is a good thing.
Yeah, your brain likes structure, especially to start your day. If you're starting your day structured and with intent and purpose, then the rest of your day is you're setting yourself up for success for the rest of the day. And just do that over time. If you can compound that over time, you have a good month, a good week, a good month, a good year. Like it's just yeah, that's my number one tip. And eat well. Like what we put into our gut is so intrinsically connected to our brain. People don't realize that what you're eating and putting into your body, staying hydrated, that's also very important you don't have to be weighing your food and doing all that kind of stuff. If you want to look like a Greek god, maybe, but just in terms of maintaining good mental health, eating is really important. Like eating good solid foods is so good. And as a trader, you need to sustain energy. So don't drink a bloody Monster or a V in the morning or two of those. Like, yeah, try and work out a good eating pattern as well. That will help you feel heaps better.
And sleep is underrated too.
Mate, the biggest one, sorry. Yeah, that also is your brain is repairing itself and doing all its sorting out. All your unconscious stuff is going on when you're asleep. So you should be getting 7, 8 hours of sleep to be prime, ready to go, which is hard. Like, I mean, if you've got a family or you've got shit to do, it is so hard. I would suggest if you can't, there's these great things called yoga nidras or non-sleep deep rest, NSDR. 15-minute YouTube clip you can listen to, and it puts your brain into a reparative state just by lying there, scanning your body and doing breathing. And it's 15, 20 minutes. If you haven't got the right amount of sleep and you're feeling a bit shit, try one of those. It's a yoga nidra. You can look them up on YouTube. They're
So
good.
would you do that in the morning after you wake or
Maybe
when?
you got home from work and you're fucked and you haven't had enough sleep and you've got a bit of time, just lie on the couch or on your bed flat, put your earphones in, no light, maybe block your eyes with a something, and that will like yeah, that will kind of re-energize you for the rest of your day. You could do one in the morning if you haven't slept enough and you feel like you need to get that little boost. So that is a really great tool that is like a lot of research has gone into how effective they are in relaxing your brain and helping it to kind of get that rest it needs.
And I reckon with any routine you got, one of the keys to doing it is making it achievable and not
Yeah,
something that you're not going to be able to do long term.
so true.
So
Because
then,
a lot of people run the risk of, all right, mate, I'm the perfect example. I will get into waking up at 4 in the morning and I'm like, I'm up, I'm ready to go. So I'll do a massive gym session. I'll go for a walk. I'll come home. It's doing too much. You burn out. That lasts for 2 or 3 months, and then you just fall off the wagon. It has to. You're so true in that. This is what I would suggest. Wake up. If you're waking up at 5 at the moment, wake up at 4:30. Challenge yourself to wake up half an hour earlier. It's great for the brain. It's just overcoming a little hurdle that is tricking your brain into winning. You've won. You've woke up half an hour earlier. Take 20 minutes to sit in silence and just process your thoughts. Listen to, it's like meditation. Try and do some form of meditation. It doesn't have to be long, 20 minutes. And that is where things will pop up in your head that you may not know are bothering you. And you can just work through them, write them down, journaling. I know blokes will probably scoff at this, like Dear Diary kind of shit, but it's not like that. If you can journal after those 20 minutes and just write down whatever came to your mind, it might be about work, it might be about your partner, it might be about your kids, it might be about what happened yesterday. Get it out of your brain. All the thoughts exist out here. If you can funnel them out and onto a bit of paper, you've just cleared up a lot of room emotionally and mentally to continue today. Eat a good bit of breakfast, maybe go for a walk or get some light exercise in. And yeah, get your day going with intention is so important.
Yeah, I was going to ask, my next question was going to be whether you do any meditation or anything like that.
I'm slack. So I preach to the choir, but I struggle with meditation. I have in the past. I need to get back into it. My meditation is walking. So I'll take the dog, 4 o'clock this morning. I'm walking along Mentone Beach. There's no one around. It is dead silent. And I just get my time. And then I think, I look at the stars, I look at the moon, I take
Saw
my
your
time.
photo this morning you posted around that time. Looked
It's
like it was
awesome, mate.
daylight
Anyone is
almost.
close to the water, go down there. It is so good for you in terms of your mental health and clarity. So that's my meditation. It's just a walk along the beach. No one's around. It is literally you have the whole beach to yourself. I used to get in at like early, like a cold plunge type of thing, but I've got it's hard to get back to that in winter when you fall off. So that's another thing I'll try to add to the list. But yeah, just you don't have to meditate. Just sit in silence. Don't look at your phone for 20 minutes. Try it anyway. And it's a challenge that if you can start doing that, yeah, it's good for your brain.
Yeah, like I don't know what the definitions of meditation is, but like
Mm,
you say, just being in silence and not looking at technology for 15 minutes,
yeah.
that's going to help clear you out and help you think differently to what it'll calm your mind down.
Phones are so bad for us and our nervous systems, especially if you're on Instagram and social media all the time, which you have to be as a business owner, kind of. But you're just being bombarded with stimulus that is a lot of the time useless. Like it is information that you're not using that is getting stored in your head and taking up space that you never like reels of weird like videos of I don't know, like it's just stuff that is not really necessary a lot of the time. So I'm a sucker for it. I get addicted to it. I get hooked on the dopamine that it provides. So it's something I'm also very mindful is screen time. But the morning, like, don't do it in the morning and before bed. Try and do it. If you're going to do it in the middle of the day.
Mm. Yep. And there's a lot of like of all the different bits of advice that you give in this episode. Like not everyone has to take on everything,
No,
but if you can do one thing improvement, then you're better off than you were before.
1% better every day. And so that might be a small change. That's why I say if you're not going to do any of that, wake up half an hour earlier. Test yourself. Just try and wake up half an hour earlier. That's the first thing. Do that. And then if you get used to that, then maybe you can add on the sitting there in silence or a bit of exercise or a walk. Yeah, it is to ask someone to go from 0 to 100 is more detrimental than the actual
Yeah.
thing itself. It is about finding a space for you where you are challenging yourself, yeah, daily, but not overloading yourself. You don't want to be doing that. Because also being a landscaper, it's tough. It's very physical. So you need to be mindful of resting and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yep. So have you got like a mentor or anything who's giving you advice on the path for you to go down?
That's a great question. And a guy who has really pushed me in this direction. So my ex-partner got me into studying psychology. She was very much into this space. So she kind of pushed me in that direction. So I'm very grateful for her. And then I had a counselor. His name is Tom. And when I saw Tom, I was like any guy, I was like, therapy's bullshit, whatever. I sat down with Tom and I was crying within 5 minutes. So he just had a way about him and we connected and he got to the core and he made me aware of what I was dealing with very quickly. And we became friends. I went for a walk with him the other week. Now we stay in touch, not as a like therapist relationship, just as a friend. And I would consider him someone that like we walked for 2 hours the other day, and that's all we talked about was psychology forms of it. So he's someone that is so knowledgeable and great in that regard that, and he's younger than me. He's 4 years younger than me, but has just been on it early. Like he's a qualified counselor and he's studying his master's at the moment. So yeah, a mentor doesn't have to be older than you. He's like younger than me, but super wise. And yeah, he helps me out. And that's another great bit of advice. If you're a young or even someone that's changing careers, great bit of advice is find a mentor, find someone that's done it, find someone that has the blueprint that understands what you need to do and can just, it's like a parent. They just know, like a parent knows how to, like, a mentor will say, hey, well, just at this point you need to be doing this, or how about you focus on this? Even landscaping, if you're an apprentice, find a great boss that can be a mentor and like that is good at what they do and that you get along with. Because you can't, yeah, you need it.
Yeah, because they can tell you the mistakes they made doing the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah. What is it? Like a smart man learns from mistakes, a wise man learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty of examples out there to be like, all right. And especially if you're going to start your own business, that's one thing I wish I had done more was talked to the business owners about the logistics and how to run a business, what I need to do. That stuff. If you were planning on getting into landscaping, starting your own business, pick the brains of business owners, small business owners about the like because you can avoid stuff, tax stuff, or like buying this tool or getting this shed or the space you need to store stuff at the start. There's all these little things that you would be a great person, I imagine, to reach out to if as a young guy trying to start his business, just to be like, hey man, what do I need to do? How do I start this? How do I get out on my own? Because it's a pretty daunting thing.
Yeah, I had a lot of advice, or I have had throughout my career from other
Yeah.
business owners. But my problem is I didn't take it on. I thought, that won't happen to me. I know that happened to you, but that's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
It happens to me as well.
That happens to everyone. And I think the great thing about the landscape industry is such a, like, I think more than any other trade, it's probably like a more tight knit than, would you agree? Like than
It
any other.
seems like it. Yeah, it's hard to say because it's the only one I'm in. But
Yeah.
it's a bit of
But I just feel like the garden show and stuff, I feel like you just see a lot more of, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just because you're in it that it feels like that. But yeah, I like to think of it that way anyway.
But I do have seen like other industries, and it's very catty and
Yeah.
like there's yeah,
Everyone's out to be the big
yeah,
dog. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That happens.
And that life is like that, I suppose. There's people who are supportive of other people and other people who aren't.
Yeah. Very true.
Do you listen to many podcasts that
So much.
you recommend?
I'm an addict, mate. I'm a very boring person. My spare time is spent reading and watching YouTube and listening to podcasts, all related to this kind of stuff. And some comedy stuff. Like I'm not that serious all the time. Like I do like a bit of comedy, but I consume the hours of podcast material I consume is pretty silly. So, but I love it. That's what I don't know. I just really enjoy it, and it gives me great insight and helps me with what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm the same. I like every now and then you'll get in the car and the radio comes on and they start playing ads and it's horrendous. I can't
Yeah.
stand it.
It is the worst. Terrestrial radio is shocking. Shocking.
Even- yeah, like I might play the same song a couple of times a day, but hearing it on the radio, hearing a different song played a couple of times on the radio
You get
drives me nuts for some
frustrated.
reason.
What do you listen to at work?
Um, the landscaping podcast is one of my favorites.
Oh, I would have thought everyone would have that on.
That's a good one. Let's see. Kid Contracted podcast is a good one. You might like that
Is
one,
that
actually.
landscaping related as
Yeah,
well? Okay.
he's in America,
Yeah.
but he's a bit of a deeper thinker, like
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Also quotes Marcus Aurelius a fair bit.
Very quotable guy.
Yeah. Um, Not Our Finest Hour. That's like
Okay.
a that's a landscaping one that's also comedy because it's
Oh,
just
nice.
three landscapers. Two of them are pretty experienced and they're just over landscaping, so they're newbie at everything. So they spend a lot of time whinging, which is
What's that one called again? I'll have to listen to it.
not our finest hour.
Okay.
So they're three Canadians.
Have you been on any? Have you been a guest on any of these? Sure.
Yeah, I've been on the Kid Contractor one,
Oh,
but
nice.
like whenever anyone asks me to come on a podcast, I tell them that I'm not a good guest to have on a podcast.
Okay. You prefer interviewing people.
I don't mind going on there, but I just think they think because I've got a podcast that I'm, got these great stories and good at talking, but
Well, you're all right. What are you talking
I'm
about?
I'm good at asking questions, and that's about it.
There you go.
I don't mind the Diary of a CEO one.
Yeah, I was just watching that yesterday. I love that. I think he's really good.
Yeah, Theo Von he's one of my favorites actually.
Mate, I reckon I was the first person on Theo Von in Australia. I've been on Theo Von. I love him. He is such a great guy.
I reckon I've only last probably 2 months, but yeah, God, he's just I'll
Hilarious.
find myself laughing out loud multiple times throughout the day.
And a sweet guy. Like he has a great heart. He's just got a good
Yeah,
sensitivity about him. Like he interviewed Sean Strickland, this MMA fighter. I don't know if you saw that one.
don't think so.
Oh, he's like been abused heavily when he was young and he broke down. And Theo's just like very supportive. So from someone that wants to be a therapist, I thought, wow, that is such a great moment for blokes to see that online. And just his interviews with Trump, he's talking to Trump about the most obscure things. He's such a funny guy. He's a
Yeah,
funny guy.
yeah. I didn't listen to that Trump one actually yet,
Listen to it, you'll laugh.
but I do go back into his catalog, which is good. Obviously, Australian Law and Guard podcast with Luke Smith.
Yep.
But that one, so I don't listen to every episode of that because some of it like talking about herbicides and
Ah,
yeah.
okay. Not into that.
No, like I do like to listen to podcasts that I wouldn't think I would like to listen to,
Yeah.
but sometimes you start listening to it and like one of them was about insurance and
Yeah.
like understand that some you might learn something, but
Yeah.
someone I had one of the guests I had on got me onto the Darren Daly ones. He's just
Yep.
like a businessman. They're only like a 3 or 5 minute one.
Yeah.
But there's some that I listen to that they're like I'll leave them on there, but I
Yeah.
don't really pay attention to them sometimes.
Yeah, I like this Diary of CEO. I really like Chris Williams is a good one. Chris Will X. He's like just interviews very interesting people. Obviously, Rogan, when he's got like good people on, I'll listen. I'll pick and choose, like, because not everyone you're into.
Yep.
But the same, Theo Von. I need to branch out. I kind of just look for guests that I like across a few platforms, and just listen to them to try and gain some insight. But yeah, it's a useful tool, man, for
Yeah.
anything, like for any field that you're in, no matter what you do and what you love, there is information out there to make you the best at that or help you be the best at that. So,
Yeah.
podcasts are great.
And I find like when you say you talk looking for certain guests on multiple episodes you want to listen
Yeah.
to, it's also good listening to people you don't know of.
Yeah.
Because they can be like and there's some of them are just you wish you didn't listen to the episode because it was horrendous. But every now and then there's a nugget in there.
It is good to broaden your horizon, and everyone thinks so differently. Like there is a tendency on the internet to get saturated with certain topics. Like there are hot topics of the moment, whether it's, yeah, I don't know. But the good thing is you're right. You can find differing opinions and voices, polarizing opinions, and listening to stuff that maybe you don't agree with is good for you, as well.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't want to get
Yeah.
stuck in an echo chamber of your own thoughts
Exactly.
and ideas. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fascinating though because you can have an opinion about something and then you listen to someone who's got the opposite opinion and think, oh,
yeah,
maybe I was wrong, and then you
yeah.
listen to someone who had your original opinion and say, no, it's definitely right. So it's whoever you can get persuaded quite
Well,
easily
it's
sometimes.
a sign of an intelligent person to be able to discern information and go, well, shit, and an evolved human being that can go, well, my opinion is open to change. Like I'm not stuck in the way that I think. Like, and if someone has a good argument and makes great points and is convincing and it makes sense and it feels right, then you have to be open to changing your mind.
Yeah,
The quickest way to stay small and stunted is to think that everything that you believe is right because there's no fucking way. Like it just there's no way.
yeah,
So that's a great trait to have is to listen. You're right. Listen to people that you may not think you like or agree with. Probably more than you listen to people you agree with would probably be a good idea.
yeah. Now the hard thing with podcasts in that regard is that you could listen to someone saying something and think, oh, I had no idea it was like that, but
Yeah.
they could be completely lying and it's absolutely
Yes.
wrong what they're saying. There's
Yeah.
no anyone can say whatever they want.
Well, it is a it has given people, everyone has a platform now. So everyone can go online and say something and express their opinion. Yeah, which is so evident in like the politics now with like in
Yeah.
America. You see that these are two completely opposing points of view, and they both just lie through their teeth to
Yeah, and
make
they're allowed to as well. Like they're
and they get away with it. There's no like Twitter has a fact checking thing that says, "Oh, this is wrong, this is wrong." But if they can post videos on YouTube that can just be complete falsehoods about the other side or about what's going on in the world, and it's like, yeah, it's just left up there for and it pulls the country apart. Like then you get a
yeah,
country so divided because of the media that gets put out there. So it's a dangerous medium. Like it is a dangerous medium if it's not shouldn't be controlled, but just to be so separate is you need to try and find something maybe in the center.
mm. What speed do you listen to?
Yeah, depends on if I like the guest or not. But all my uni lectures, I listen to it like 1.75, because I just want to get it out and watch the slides. And then podcasts, I typically listen in bed. So I started listening at a quick speed, but then I was falling asleep and hearing chipmunks in my head. So I, I just let it play out normally if I'm in bed, which is typically where I listen to it. What about you?
1.5.
Yeah, it's good. It helps you get through, and you can still take in the information and discern what's going on. Like there's no lack in of understanding if you kind of speed it up a bit.
Yeah, it takes like it might take yeah a minute to get used to it on
Yeah,
new people
100%. Yeah,
too.
your brain just has to adjust to that
Yeah,
like little bit of speed. Yeah, so
but,
true.
so it's weird if you do start doing that. Think there's no way I could listen to this, but then you pick up the speech patterns. It's
Yeah.
fascinating again understanding people. Like when I edit the podcast, like speech patterns of people. So like
Yes.
when I'm editing it, I can see I don't know what you call it, but the sound graph of
The
the
intonation kind
voice.
of what they're
Yeah, yeah.
saying. Yeah.
And after a few minutes, because I take out all the ums of the guests.
Oh God, I hope I haven't been umming too much.
Well, that's the thing. When you're talking to someone, you don't hear it, but when you're
True.
listening on a
Listening.
podcast, if they
Okay.
keep saying it, you hear it. So
Yes.
I take it out. Obviously, I leave mine in because that won't stay in there.
How long does
But
that take you to do that?
well, it usually takes like double, however long the episode is, it seems to take double that
That
time.
time. Okay.
Yeah, so if the
Wow.
episode's an hour, it takes me 2 hours to edit it. I don't understand why, because it's not that often. Like
Yeah.
I see the click, click, right click, delete,
But still
play.
the process of doing it. Surely there's an AI tool now that you can run it
Yeah,
through.
I don't trust them though to do it
Yeah.
the way I want it.
Yes. Okay. Got
Because
you.
then I'd have to listen back to the episode, make sure it's fine anyway. So
You end up spending, and then if you have to fix it, then it's like a
yeah,
podcast. So yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Because there's times where it's right to leave it in,
Yeah.
and then there's other times where people will say another word. They might say like another word straight after So if
Yeah.
you take that out, it takes out the other word, and
Yeah.
so
And
I just do it
sometimes a
myself.
really long pause that you can kind of get rid of to kind of shorten it down as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and sometimes the long pause is good to leave in there. So
Yes.
and AI isn't at that level yet,
Nah.
but
I guess that's your creative control as someone that has the podcast and wants it to sound a certain way. That's like,
yeah,
you have
yeah.
that.
I can see when someone's going to say before they've said
Through
it.
the waveform.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
and like it's not always right, but most of the time you can tell because they talk in the same kind of patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
been
incredible.
fascinating understanding even just that side of things. So
Neat skill
yeah,
to have, mate.
yeah. Again, it's just about
Repetition.
and being fascinated about people like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and also the they do the same thing all the time.
Yeah. Oh, we are creatures of habit. So, and pattern and all of that. So, that is the fascinating thing about learning about why and how, what drives all of that, which is what I'm super interested in. How is the podcast going? How are you finding it? You like it? Like you love doing it? Or,
Yeah, yeah. I just hate getting the guests on. I hate organizing that and
yeah.
having to work out a time.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I don't like doing. So
Yeah. I mean, you've got a
love the chat.
shitload of guests out there, don't you? Like, and
Yeah,
with Instagram, it's so easy to just reach out and say, "Hey, I love your stuff." Got
yeah.
any dream guests that like you don't you kind of trepidatious about asking, but you would want to have them on?
The guest I've got who has said yes for episode 250. I
Who
haven't done
kidding?
that episode yet, but he said yes. That'll be a pretty good one.
Who's that?
I can't say yet
Okay,
in case he
sweet.
doesn't go through.
Okay.
But he said
When
yes. I just got to organise the time.
and when's your two? How many
You're
episodes?
248,
Oh
so
wow.
it's
So you did two episodes. And a big name in the industry?
yes.
Okay, nice.
Probably depends if you're talking landscaping or gardening,
Oh yeah,
but probably the biggest, I'd
awesome.
say.
And how are you finding like are you gaining a bit of traction? Like do you want to like it's hard to measure success in terms of a podcast because you do it because you love it. But are you interested in that? Like seeing the metrics and seeing like if you can gain followers and seeing how many listens you get?
Yeah, I love numbers, so
Okay.
I always have been looking at the numbers, and
Yeah.
it's sort of stagnated for I don't know, maybe this year.
Yeah.
Kind of, it's always been gradually building, and now it's just kind of flat line.
You
So,
hit plateaus though.
but I don't like you were saying with if your thing helps one person and
Yeah.
99 hate you, you're
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Like if I had a quarter of the listeners I have now, I'd still do it
Yeah. And
because I do it because I
that's
enjoy
when you know
doing it.
you're doing the right thing. That's when you know you were doing the right thing. If you were doing it purely out of love for the thing, then you're never wrong.
Yeah,
You just keep
yeah.
doing it. And the success of it becomes uh, the cherry on top or the bow or whatever it is that you want to call it. Like if it becomes successful, it becomes successful.
And other people guests have got work out of it as well. Like there's been
Yeah,
people like guest A and guest B have heard each other and then they've connected and
awesome.
like there's a lot of stories like that actually. And other people like I had a business coach on and one of it a fella down here messaged me saying that he's signed up to him as a business
Perfect.
coach.
So
So
that's always good if you can get people work and connect people, especially in the industry. Like you want everyone helping each other out as much as you can. So, yeah, what a great tool for
yeah.
landscapers, mate.
Yeah, I love that one because not only is the business coach has got a client, but that client is going to have a better business
Yeah,
because it's awesome. So
business
um,
coach, good idea. I probably should have got one at some point.
I should have done it as well. But
They just know the shit that you like. We're not business people, so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
probably a bit of advice. If you can afford it, get a bloody business coach.
yeah. Well, yeah, and it's one of those. And if I was a business coach, I would say you can't
Yep.
afford not to. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not if you can afford it, you can't afford not
Just
to
put the money aside and do it. Yeah,
because you'll get more money from it from doing it.
yeah. And especially as a small business, managing your taxes and stuff like that is just a pain in the bum. It's like just offsetting things and knowing how to structure things is so hard,
Yeah,
especially as stupid landscapers. Like we play in the dirt all day, mate. We're digging holes. I don't know what business is. So
yeah. I remember at the start the amount of times it probably took me 2 years before I realized what was happening. But I'd always think, oh, gee, I've got a lot of money in my account all of a sudden. And then, oh, no, I've got to pay my BAS every
that's
3 months. And then suddenly my
that's
bank account would build up. So, oh,
yeah,
doing it right. Oh, no.
that
Pay
old
my
trick. I think it gets everyone at the start of a business career. In any industry, as a self-employed person, I think people are like, wow, I'm doing pretty well. Oh no, the tax man. Okay.
Actually, I need to find money now. I don't have
Yeah.
enough to pay
Yeah.
that
Then you
bill.
just then you're like, all right, I got to drum up some work, drum up some work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just use the deposit from this next job to pay for BAS for this last one.
It becomes a cycle if you're not careful. So yeah, get a business coach
Yep. Last question for you, Aaron. Who do you think would be a good guest to have on the podcast?
on your podcast.
Yes.
Oh, I reckon Brick Eckersley's an interesting guy who's done some. I love his design work. You've had what's his name? Cos.
Yep. Steve
You've had
Taylor.
him on.
Yes.
Yeah. Who else? Maybe someone that you can get on that I know. Oh, you know who would be cool? And he's an interesting fella, is Steve from Kiama. Stephen Lloyd from Kiama.
All right.
I reckon he's a great company, like awesome boss and a funny dude. Like he'd just have some stories and
Good.
you'd get along with him, I think. So yeah, those
Yeah.
three.
Yeah, I've dealt with Tim a fair bit from Kiama,
Tim, yeah.
but yeah, I haven't never met Steve. Oh, actually, I might have met him once, I reckon.
Yeah, Tim's awesome as well. Such a lovely dude. I think he
Yeah.
lives down your way, doesn't he?
I know what I think one of them does because they do,
Yeah.
yeah, a bit of work down here. I think the one of them's
Yeah.
in Ocean Grove.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, and look, I can't
Mate,
wait to follow along with what you're doing, and
yeah,
yeah, love it. Well,
I
love
really
it.
appreciate it. And
Thanks,
it's
Tim.
good to finally have a chat.